This video is for adults only. It is not child friendly. If you are a child of any age, please exit this video immediately. If you are a minor, exit immediately. If you are an adult, continue, but read the disclaimer in the description box below this video on YouTube. Thank you. Hey everybody, this is Grace, and I am sitting out in my car. I'm having cabin fever, suffering from cabin fever. With the holidays and all, I'm not going out to go to stores and be. I did that, and no. So I've been sitting at home, no real place to go. Actually, I went somewhere every day so far, so. But today I'm not, and I'm just not one to sit at home. But anyway, I was thinking about something I'm hearing a lot lately. Pardon that, there was a garbage truck. Garbage trucks seem to be featuring in my videos lately. But anyway, I was thinking about people who like to keep their head in the sand. They really don't want to know what's going on. And I think part of it is because of all this with COPPA, that you actually hear people say this, about people keeping their head in the sand so they don't know what's going on. Just because you don't know what's going on, that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Like some animals. We have a lot of feral animals. We're feeding them, and have been for about a year now, or maybe more. And I interpreted what one of them was doing, hiding its head behind a tree and not moving. And I told Adam, I said, it thinks if it doesn't see you, then you don't exist. Yeah, anyway. And I think that's how some people are, not everybody in any of this, that they think that if they just don't pay attention to it, it's not going to be a problem, or, it's somebody else's problem. Various things they have attitudes about. But the ones that I was thinking about, and I've been thinking about this for I don't know how long, and it's not my first time even, and it's about that, that whole thing I've said before, about people who say, well, if you don't like their videos, then don't watch them. Me, like I've said before, I'm not one to keep my head in the sand and think that that stuff doesn't exist, or I don't want to do that, I don't want to see that. I want to keep myself sheltered from it. In some situations, some people do need to keep themselves sheltered, because it can be quite awful what you can see. And I'm talking like on videos or online in any way. Okay, and if I had a situation when that was the case, I wouldn't be watching, anything that would, that was bad. But anyway, but for me, I'm a sociologist. I need to know what's going on. I want to know, and I need to know what's going on in this world, and how bad has it become. And now I've joked and said, I'm sounding like my parents' generation, but that's not really it. As a sociologist, I have seen it worsen in my lifetime. At 56 years old, yeah, I've seen quite a bit. And I've seen it, especially with my focus, how bad it has become now these days. And I was thinking a while ago, the word, some might see it as permissible or just allowed. Okay, what is allowed these days, that it's like the pendulum has swung too far. Well, it's swung to the other direction. It went too far one way. When I was younger, everything was so strict, so very strict. No, you had to practical. Why can't I say that word today? Like dress in black slacks and white shirt. Males and females, or females with the skirts. It was just so, the total opposite, really. It was so opposite. But now it's like anything goes. And I'm more in that direction, that it was too strict, but I see how it's gone too far. And part of that, as many of us know, has gone too far, is that it's much too narcissistic these days. The behaviors of many, whether it's individual or group, collective narcissism, it's just gone too far. Okay. And along the same line, as I was thinking about how many problems it can cause if too many people put their heads in the sand on the things that have gotten really bad. And I'm not saying this is just a certain class, or a certain group, a certain age group, race, none of that, sex, any of it. It can be of any. We all know narcissism is doesn't discriminate. It can be in anybody, and they can attack anybody. I don't agree with people saying that there's something about you that attracts them. No, that's BS to me. To me, I could be wrong. Read the disclaimer in the description box below this video on YouTube. And I think one major wake-up call happened a few years ago when so many people have felt like they weren't being in some way represented. I can't say it. What is this cabin fever setting in? And now I can't even pronounce the words. Oh my goodness. But they just didn't, their voices weren't being heard. And now their voices are heard quite loudly. And it's, like you can see it online. Oh my goodness, some of the language people use is just verbal abuse to me. Not all of it, but a big chunk of it is verbal abuse. And it's allowed. It's permissible. I don't see how. I really don't. Because, yeah, it's not just trust me. Yeah, I did a video on this. I don't know what I did with it. Who knows? Okay, and then I was really thinking a lot. My degrees are in both psychology and sociology, and I taught at college and university. And I was thinking more about my goal since I was a graduate student was that I wasn't going to just stick to one group of any sort. That I was going to be more down to earth with the way I spoke, because it actually happened that a friend of mine who'd known me since childhood, after I'd been attending, university, I was in graduate school at that time, she just couldn't understand what I was saying anymore. Okay, you learn a lot of new words. And so I thought, what's the sense of it if the people I know, they can't understand me, and the concept's more important than the terminology. Adam's view is more of, that's dumbing down and make them come up to your level. But mine is all about people understanding what's going on, the concepts, what to beware of, this kind of thing. So I'm not going to teach everybody my language, the words I know, the terminology. No. My goal was to teach the concepts, to give understanding. See, there's a difference. But a fear of mine is that more academics, they don't want to do that. They're especially, certain kinds of instructors or professors, they want to only teach to the class, and they're not looking outside of the class. And believe me, it was very difficult for me after all that education, and I was a career student, remember, and then even in graduate school, it is not always easy to switch, seriously, from what I learned in, college and university, the terminology, just everything. And then to switch it to where more people can understand it. It's not that easy. To find the correct words after you're used to using for so many years one set of words, one set, and then to twist it to something that pretty much you think everybody could understand. More noise. Gotta love it. Real life happens in the middle of the video. But anyway, where was I? But yeah, I think too many academics aren't thinking outside of their, the ivory tower, basically. And seeing that, and those who have gone into social media. Social media, a lot of this in both psychology and sociology, I don't know how much has changed, how much is more awareness of how life is different. But I know at least 20 years ago, I was taking classes in graduate school on basically the sociology of the internet and so forth. Okay, and in the class that I'm thinking about right now, that was when I really started making that decision, we were studying the cyborg, and I'm saying this right, cyborg manifesto. If you don't know what it is, go look it up and read it. But part of what we were discussing, and I thought it was so hilarious, because at one point my professor, the professor in that class, she said, she was actually around my age at that time, and she said that some people just can't understand metaphors. It made me crack up laughing, seriously. She didn't really know me at all. But yes, I've seen some, that are online, and whatever topic is their favorite topic, do they understand the people, the majority of the people their audience? Okay, I think my audience is very slim, I know it is, for particular reasons, and I understand why, and I'm okay with that. But do they understand it? Or are they only looking for those like they would have or do teach at university or college? And that's all that they're wanting to learn. Have they become rather elitist? You know? But there also is the opposite, too. That people who aren't degreed, and they're adults, and they had and still have a chance, but they don't want to do that. They believe they know better than the true scientists. There's that. There's that lack of people wanting to, not everybody, like I said, but wanting to see the other side. And I have a whole video planned. I have notes written and everything to talk about that. And I'm going to. I do feel I'm flipping a switch. You know, my degrees are both psychology and sociology, and I'm going back more focus on, sociology. It's always been in there because, I mean, after all these years, seriously, of course it's going to be part of me, both of them. And there was also anthropology and philosophy, and that wasn't all. Career student, remember? Anyway, but I think this is enough for this one. I think I've gotten over a little bit of my cabin fever. But this has been a long holiday, and it's still not over. Holiday week. And I never really had thought about enough because, like I have plans and go and do stuff like that. But if you're going to be basically at home, what you can do, I mean, seriously, I'm talking about TV. I guess I never had noticed it too much that they don't really have new shows during Thanksgiving week, So, I don't know why I felt like adding that in. Maybe the cabin fever just hasn't gone away yet. But thinking about going back in there, yeah. No. I don't know. We'll see. I'm rambling. Talk to y'all in another video.